Hey guys, so I'm here to talk about Emery's, I believe, 5th full-length album, and it's called We Do What We Want, which is quite clever. So I don't know, this album is very weird to me. It's just it's 10 tracks, and I'm kind of like on the fence about this one. I don't know, like, I don't love it by any means. I don't hate it. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's terrible. It's kind of in the middle for me. It's just kind of like an okay album. Emery is just one of those bands that I really like. I love their second album. The Question is probably my favorite album by them. But outside of that album, every album that they've put out, I've kind of liked a few songs and not really the whole album. It's just, for me, they've never really put out a full entire album that I really love. And this album is definitely no different. The biggest departure for this album is, for those who don't know, Emery has always had two singers. I don't know their names. I just know one of their names. The main guy is still there, but then they had another guy, I think his name was Devin, and he sang as well. In the beginning, one played guitar and the other one just sang. And then at some point, the bass player left, and then Devin played bass while the guy who just sang played guitar. And the main guy's still here, but I kind of liked Devin's voice a little bit better. They both have great voices, but I feel like Devin has more of a singer's voice, as the other guy kind of had more of like a, I guess, kind of perfect indie hardcore type of singing voice for like clean vocal type hardcore music. But I felt Devin had more of a singing voice, and since he's no longer in the band, he's not on this album, or at least I don't know if he's in the band anymore, but he's not on this album. And for me, that was a big, huge disappointment for me, because I loved the trading of the vocals, or one guy sang one and the other guy sang the other. We didn't have that here. This album is a little bit more heavy, but I feel like it's forced. It's forced heavy, and it's evident throughout the first 8 songs. It's just, I don't know, like, some of the songs I didn't care for certain parts. They could have cut a lot of the fat out for certain songs. It's just, there's maybe 2 songs I really liked. One was called The Anchors, which is track 3. That one to me was a good mixture of like heavy and melodic. I don't know, it's just a good song. And then I really liked track 8, Addicted to Bad Decisions, which is another thing that I'm about to mention, is I don't really see heavy keyboards on this whole album. They've always kind of had keyboards as kind of like, I guess, for atmosphere, but I don't really hear it in this album at all, except for this song, Addicted to Bad Decisions. I hear it more so than in any of the other songs, which is kind of pointless to me, because the keyboardist is awesome. He does scream, but he's, if you've seen them live, he's very entertaining to watch, and I feel like he doesn't really have anything to do on this album, which kind of sucks. But yeah, like, I mean, the last 2 songs, or the slower songs, are okay. I kind of like the first 8 songs better, or the heavier songs better, which is the first 8 songs. But even still, in those 8, there's just a lot of songs that I find to be okay, not bad, good in certain parts, not so great in the other parts. But like I said, my favorite songs as a whole are The Anchors and Addicted to Bad Decisions. But there's definitely parts, like I love parts of The Curse of Perfect Days. I like certain parts in The Shovel Glass, and that's kind of it. I mean, you know, if I had to give this a rating, I'm probably going to give it maybe 3 stars out of 5. It's got potential to get a little bit better, as, you know, the more you listen to it, but I just feel like it's going to get kind of thrown in the back burner at some point. It's going to get forgotten, just because it doesn't have as many strong songs, in my opinion. So, there you have it. You know, if you're into Emery, definitely give it a shot, see if you like it. But for those who never heard the band, I don't know if I would start with this CD. So thanks guys for watching, and I'm giving this 3 stars out of 5.
My hell is burning bright.
So, Aiden has got a brand new full length. I believe it's their 5th, and it's called Walk Among the Dead. Now, they get shit on a whole lot. In the beginning of their, I guess, little run, I could see how they would deserve it, mostly based on their look. For those who don't know, Aiden's like a horror skate punk band. Now, in the beginning, when they first came out, they kind of had this whole kind of horror, The Crow kind of look. But as they've progressed, and as with each album, they kind of faded away from that, which was good. Which, in my opinion, was the only thing, giving them a bad rap. I guess you could say their lyrics, because their lyrics are kind of stupid, but they've gotten better as, with each album. This album, I have to say, I was very pleased with. I've always liked them musically. I always thought they were like a really good like punk band. They've got great guitar work, great energy, great live band. It's just their look was a little bit, their look was a little stupid. But as like I mentioned before, now they've almost pretty much gotten rid of the whole horror look. I guess there's horror themes in the songs, but not really so much in the look, which is okay. But this album I was very pleased with. As with each album in the beginning, it was getting worse. But last album I saw, there was a little bit of hope with Knives. It had more of a punk sound that they were, that they started their career with, And this one is pretty much all punk rock, which I love. It very much reminds me of their first full length, Our Gang's Dark Oath, which has always been my favorite album by them. And this is more towards that. It's more like, punk rock, energy, which I love. I love the energy in this album. I love the backing vocals in this. It's so good. There's backing vocals in every song. It doesn't sound forced. It just makes it sound catchier. Makes you want to like sing along to it. It's just so good. The guitar work is great, I should say. And it's just a fun album, a fun like punk skate album. It's just very, very, very good. My favorites are Horror Queen, which is the first song. The only thing I don't like is the beginning kind of reminded me of Escape the Fate, and I'm not too big of a fan of Escape the Fate. The guitar intro kind of reminded me of Escape the Fate, which I didn't like, but the song is good. I do like, and also like Shine is good, Perfect Muse is good, and these are the faster ones. Walk Among the Dead are good, but then there's also some good mid-tempo ones like A Portrait of the Artist, Hysteria, which I believe is their single. So those songs are very good. The only thing I don't really love is that there's 11 tracks. 2 of them are kind of just like these dialogue movie clips sounds that's basically the first song. Track 6 is kind of just movie clip intro. There's a lot of them throughout the songs, and then I didn't really care for the last song, which is kind of like out of place, kind of slow song. But for the most part, I definitely dig this album. Musically, I mean, just pretend maybe, like, if you're not a fan of Aiden, just pretend it's not Aiden and listen to it, and I'm sure you'll think it's pretty good. But I really dug it, so I'm gonna have to give it. It's I don't know if it's my favorite album by them. It's definitely my second favorite album by them. So I'm gonna give it a solid 4.
There will be an age of weeping, tears of blood that stain the earth below. You'll lose yourself.
Hey guys, what's up? So I'm here to talk about first is Silverstein's brand new full-length album. I believe it's their 5th, and it's on a new label, Hopeless Records, which is probably a huge surprise to everybody. So didn't quite seem like a label they would be on, but hey, that's cool. First I have to say I really, really surprisingly loved this album. I mean, I wasn't really looking or anticipated listening to it, or I didn't even know they had an album coming out. I didn't know anything. So I gave it a shot, and I had very low expectations just because I hadn't been in the mood for anything sounding like Silverstein, like, you know, their post-hardcore, screamo, whatever you want to call it type. I wasn't really wanting to listen to anything like that, so I gave it a shot. First listen, I thought it was pretty good, but by the second listen, I was like, man, this is really good. There's 12 tracks, and what I love about this is this album is pretty much the best of Silverstein. You're getting some great, heavy songs like Medication, Sacrifice, Intervention, The Artist, Live to Kill. There's quite a bit of just heavy, you know, heavy but also with melodic vocals and some great guitar work, some breakdowns, some screaming, some clean, very catchy choruses. Just great stuff, you know. But then they also have, you know, some poppy mid-tempo ones like Forget Your Heart and Good Luck With Your Lies and Darling Harbor. Also, you could probably mention Replace You. Just, you know, like, I guess they may not be known, or maybe a lot of people don't like their melodic songs, but these melodic songs that I just mentioned are really, really good. Really fantastic. And then, you know, you got some kind of skate punk sounding ones like Burning Hearts and maybe Live to Kill. Just very good stuff altogether. There's not a song I dislike. In Memory Of, which is the last song, might be my least favorite, but all in all the songs are really good. Nothing really skippable. Just, you know, some great heavy / melodic music. By far, this either is my favorite Silverstein album, or it might be tied with Discovering the Waterfront, which has always been my favorite album by them. It may not have some standouts like Discovering the Waterfront did, but this one as a whole could be better than that one. And actually, the more I listen to it, the more I'm liking it. So this may even become my favorite Silverstein album. So I'm gonna give this 4.5 stars. It's not the best mind-blowing CD, but it's very, very, very good, especially for this genre of like screamo, hardcore, post-hardcore, whatever you want to call it. Very good. Like I said, my favorites are probably Texas Mickey, which features Bayside's lead singer, Sacrifice, Replace You. I'll probably pick those three, but it could change. But definitely pick this album up, give it a shot. Silverstein's Rescue, I'm giving it 4.5 stars.